Hey Leute, mein Name ist Sigmar und das hier ist schon wieder ein neuer Teil von The Stanley Parable. Zuletzt sind wir irgendwie 1000 Rebounds durchgegangen und ich hoffe, das hier ist einer der letzten. Ich habe nämlich aufgehört mitzuzählen.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Und wieso liegen hier überhaupt
Stanley
überall
decided
Blätter?
to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Und wieso liegen hier überall Blätter? Oh. Oh, doch.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
Go
and
fuck
Stanley knew
yourself.
it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Oh, Roxy. Roxy, geh mal grad vom Schreibtisch runter. Geh mal grad vom Schreibtisch runter, Roxy.
Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach,
Au.
giddy in a way
Roxy.
he had never known before. Was
Ja,
it this room?
du bist eine feine
A connection between the two?
Katze. Ja.
Could a man love a room?
Ja, Roxy.
I mean, truly, truly, deeply, madly, love.
Moment, was redet er da? Okay.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously
Okay.
vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Total worth it. Ja, Roxy, fein. Du bist so eine feine Katze. Wieso bist du auf meinem Schreibtisch? Geh da
At
runter.
this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality.
Genau.
It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Genau. Die sind alle abgezogen, weil sie Stanley nicht leiden können. Es gibt hart Sinn. Hart.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Nöp. 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 Keine Message. Keine Message. Okay, ich sitze jetzt also wirklich in diesem Raum und warte darauf, dass Dialog kommt. Oh Mann, sehr with it. Roxy. Okay, vielleicht warte ich doch einfach darauf, dass Dialog kommt. Roxy, mach mal einen Abgang. Ketzel. Ketzel. Hi. Oh, geil. Danke, Roxy. Ich habe wegen dir ein Achievement bekommen.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing
Oh, man.
room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Fuck you. Na, fuck you nicht ganz so sehr.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Ey.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to
Gehen wir
go
runter?
up to his
Wir gehen
boss's
runter.
office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Vergiss es.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers
Okay, krass, ich gehe jetzt also jedes Ende durch, so
in a
ungefähr.
single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it.
Ja,
I'm
scheiße.
dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He
Oh,
wasn't
Mann.
going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Woo.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Oh Mann, dieser
Now the
Dialog,
voice was
ey.
describing
Ich
itself
wünschte, ich könnte einfach den
being
Restart
Stanley,
forcen.
who found it particularly
Jetzt kann ich den
strange.
Restart einfach
I'm
forcen.
dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And
Aber
when he
ich
thought
werde
it
den
all
Restart
very
nicht
odd
forcen.
and wondered if this voice
Because I
spoke
don't
to all
force
people in their
restarts.
dreams.
Four starts.
The truth was
Restarts
that, of course,
force me,
this
bitch.
was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply
Oh,
deceiving
Mann.
himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility.
Komm schon, Roxy.
Stanley
Komm schon.
is as awake right now
Du sitzt auf
as
meiner
he's
Hand,
ever
Roxy.
been in his
Komm.
life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control.
Stanley, du
that
hast
this
keine
was a
Kontrolle.
dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the
Ich
cool
hätte mich
weight
noch
of the
drehen
blanket
sollen.
on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Wir sind sowas von nicht okay.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake
Oh,
me up. My name is
warte, rechts
Stanley. I have a boss, I have an office, I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real.
Ach so,
I must
jetzt
be
bin ich gleich
real, I
tot.
must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
So, und als nächstes sind wir tot. Und als nächstes kommt ein neuer Restart und als
This is the
nächstes
story
ist es
of a
hoffentlich der
woman named
letzte
Mariella.
Restart.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment.
Ich habe
that
auch
she
keine
stood
Zeit
there,
dafür.
staring
Gottverdammt.
down at the body. And then
Ich hab
she
Hunger.
turned and ran.
Yay, ein neuer Restart.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Ja, genau.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Okay,
Perhaps he
ein
had
letztes
simply
Mal
missed a
noch.
memo.
Ein letztes fucking Mal.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Anarchie.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Oh mein Gott, genau. Das
Look,
Nest geht da
Stanley, I
runter.
think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not sure.
Dort unten
We
geht's
really
auch
are
runter,
not.
aber ich glaube,
I
ich
realize
lasse.
that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting,
Oh.
Stanley. Someone you've
Hop.
forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are
Yep.
you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? What?
Yep.
I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Danger everywhere. Danger, 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 danger. Überall Danger. Moment. Das heißt Danger everywhere. Dann bedeutet das ja, dass ich eine bestimmte Zone
Now
betrete.
listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating. Stanley walked through the red door.
Red Door. Und was sich hinter der roten Tür verbirgt, zeige ich euch in der nächsten Folge. Ciao.